Adult schools have been providing lifelong learning opportunities for California for years. For how long? Stay tuned to find out.
In January, it's so nice, blossoming on sliding ice. To sip hot chicken soup with rice, sipping once, sipping twice, sipping chicken soup with rice. You never wanna go away, for a single long day, and dream about my soup all day, and one by one.
Hi. Joining me to talk about the wonderful world of adult education are my San Mateo County colleagues from San Mateo Adult School, Larry Teixeira, and from Jefferson Adult School, Al Seiner. Patricia Cocconi, director of Sequoia Adult School, was to join us this evening to add a little beauty to our set, fellas, but she called at the last minute and is quite ill and is not able to join us, which is unfortunate because she's had a lot of experience with adult ed in her career. In the public education system, K-12, community college, state colleges, and the UC system, there's nothing quite like adult education and where it fits in that continuum. Classes provided for and separately funded for adults have been around for a long time in California. Larry, for how long?
Well, 150 years. 2006 is a really special year for adult educators, as we will be celebrating 150 years of adult education in California. And I guess particularly important to us in the Bay Area because the very first adult school class was started right in San Francisco. Actually, it was started at Old St. Mary's. We call Old St. Mary's in San Francisco now. That time was the cathedral. And John Sweat, a famous San Francisco historian, educator, started programs in Americanization for Irish, Italian, and Chinese immigrants to help them assimilate into the new society, teaching them English and also the ways of the world in America.
And adult education has grown by leaps and bounds since then, and we're going to explore that.
Yes.
Any particular highlights for you as you look at what's transpired for adult education over the last 150 years? I know you haven't been around for the entire time.
I was not the original director of the program, but thank you. Well, we have a separate funding stream. Like you say, it's misunderstood. Some people call adult education the best kept secret in the education world because not everyone knows about it. But we do, since 1907, we have a separate independent funding stream. And we do have in San Mateo County, we serve a lot of students, in fact more than the community colleges do, which always surprises people.
And while they talk about it being the adult education, and notice when I mention that continuum of public education in California, you very seldom see adult education mentioned among all those other very prestigious groups or institutions in public education.
That's right, unfortunately.
But if you talk about it being the world's best kept secret, it served how many students over the years?
Well, currently adult education is serving over 1 million students in California.
So it's not a secret to an awful lot of people.
No, and we're serving almost 30,000 right here in San Mateo County.
Which is more than a community college, what you mentioned earlier. Al, you're relatively new to the adult education game. Most of your career was spent in Jefferson and high school, and you've been with Jefferson Adult School for the past 3 years.
3 years.
Anything strike you moving over to the adult side in terms of what role adult education plays?
Well, yeah, certainly we serve a great number of students. In the high school, we had about 1,400 students in one little community. Now I'm working with 6,000 to 9,000 adults in the Daly City, Brisbane, Pacifica area, and it's more regional and it's much more complex. And each community has its own needs, which is important for us to recognize and important for us to provide the appropriate kinds of services for them.
It's a shame that Patricia wasn't going to be able to join us tonight because all three of us, as we're directors of our adult school programs, are secondary trained people and fairly new to the adult education game. But Patricia goes way back with adult school and has had many roles with Sequoia school district, including adult education, so I sure she could give us a little bit different perspective. But Larry, you know, you've been in the adult education game for 9 years now, and even in those 9 years, adult education has kind of evolved in terms of where it stands in California and what services it provides. Any thoughts?
Well, I think there are several organizations representing adult educators in California, and sometimes too many and competitive. And I think in the last 5 years they've come together to speak with a common voice. They're certainly rallying around the 150-year celebration, so I think that's given us greater visibility. I think flexibility is one of the keys to adult education. We're not tied into semesters or quarters. Most of the classes are free or for a very low fee. And we can adapt, as Al mentioned, to the times. I mean, in the 1990s, I arrived at adult school in 1997. Anything with a PC was gold. You know, people lined up for any classes and do with
anything to do with computers.
Anything to do with PCs. And you know, that fashion has worn off a bit. It's still important. I think people mistakenly think the .com bust means PCs, which I don't think it does at all. But now, for example, we're doing a big digital photography suite because now that's kind of the new PC. Everyone's getting a digital camera, not sure how to use it, so our ability to be flexible and change with the times, I think, is what.
For those folks out there that have had no experience with adult education programs, there's a certain perception about what adult school offers. In reality, what kind of programs do adult schools offer that are pretty much generic to all adult schools?
Well, the largest program statewide is English as a second language. That is, it represents about 53% of our program, and it represents about 53% of the state program, so that's typical. And then we have programs for older adults, and that's a growing population in San Mateo County as well.
And depending on what community you're in, those classes might take different forms, and
Yes.
depending on the interests of your senior populations in that particular community.
Yes.
What about in the areas of vocational education, Al?
Well, many types of things we have. Certainly the computer things like Larry was mentioning. But we also have gardening programs. We have food service programs and so forth that we offer in different parts of the community. And
What about adult secondary education? Why don't you explain that a little bit?
Well, we do have about 7% of our program is in adult secondary education, and that takes three forms. We have a high school diploma program for out-of-school youth who are looking for a place to finish their work. They were close to finishing, perhaps had to leave school for some reason. We have a GED program for people who are re-entering the secondary world, perhaps a little farther from a diploma.
Real quick, Larry, what's the difference between a GED and a high school diploma? What's the significance of those two?
Well, you know, I think there's not a lot, but I think there's a prejudice. I think people like diploma. It sounds right. They understand it.
But it comes in a nice, pretty leatherette cover.
Well, we provide a nice, pretty leatherette cover
for your
our GED certificates,
too. For you.
Because it's a credit by examination, basically. Clear demonstration of the skills necessary that would be complementary to that of a high school graduate.
what's happening now, though, is you see in the high school ranks where students are now having to pass the exit examination. And so that's two tests. That's the English and math area. And so as I see it in the future, that the high school diploma is going to probably going to require them to pass other subjects too, science and social science along with English and math. And when you look at the GED, they have those 5 areas: English, math, science, history. So basically it's getting a high school diploma and passing the GED and also along the way to kind of guarantee the fact that they are competent in these areas. So yes.
Well, it just should be pointed out too that almost all adult programs offer classes in citizenship. Many offer classes in parenting. Many offer classes for adults with disabilities. So there are a lot of areas that adult school fills the needs in communities and for Californians. You mentioned before that in San Mateo County we serve over 30,000 students, more than the community colleges. Why is that? You touched on that a little bit, because we're flexible.
What else? Flexibility. Many of our programs, I'm sure it's true for Al too, are in other locations. Our main campus serves only about half our student body. But we have programs in rec centers and senior centers and church basements. And so we're in the community with a storefront operation.
Essentially, they're free.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah. See, we get paid by the ADA that we generate, just like a regular school would. And so as students come to our program, we get reimbursed by the state for their attendance. And based on that, we can hire teachers, and therefore the whole thing rolls, and it doesn't cost a lot of money for us to roll the program. Therefore, we can have very inexpensive programs. And compared, when we say computer classes that we offer compared to the community college, I think ours are a little more folksy. They're a little slower, perhaps. They don't have a grade attached to them. They don't have credit attached with them. They take them for the pure pleasure of learning things at their own pace and things like that. But I think the cost is one of the.
I think that's a big one.
Sure.
When we come back, we're going to ask our guests to give us a little profile about what makes their particular adult school so special to their community. Stay with us.
January, it's so nice. Walk swimming on sliding ice.
Prudential California Realty is pleased to support the South San Francisco Unified School District. With several offices located throughout the South Bay, we help home buyers realize their dreams of ownership and sellers maximize their home investment. Prudential California Realty is a longtime partner with education, having created the Education Foundation in 1992, which provides grants to teachers throughout Northern California. Prudential California Realty, your partner in real estate.
You've always been like a son to me, Mikey. And that's why I find it unfortunate that we're in this little situation here. No, don't do it. Don't do it. You're gonna pay for this. Peninsula TV, how will it affect you?
Welcome back. In the first segment, we learned that adult education in California is celebrating 150 years. And we learned that adult schools serve a very special population in ways that other post-high school public programs don't or can't. All of our San Mateo County adult schools have thriving ESL, citizenship, high school diploma, GED, preparation, and computer classes. But each of us serves our communities in different and very special ways. So I'm going to ask my guests, Al Seiner from Jefferson and Larry Teixeira, to share just some of that. So Al, let's start with you. Tell us about the Jefferson Adult School. And I know you brought some slides down with you that kind of showcase what's going on at Jefferson. So tell us what's special up there.
As you mentioned, we have many duplicating programs. I think that in the last 2 years we have a very interesting program that we created in an unserved area of our service area, which is the Bayshore area by the Cow Palace. And we brought down the literacy program there. It's a coalition of Bayshore Elementary, child care services, and it offers parent education, early childhood thing. And the nice thing about it offers child care services while the parents go to school. We have a National Restaurant Association program, Surf Save program, that's a certificate program where the people who participate are given the opportunity to pass that particular Surf Safe examination. Certainly, as Larry mentioned, our biggest program is ESL and citizenship, and that's very popular in our area. We have lots of immigrants in the Daly City, North Peninsula area. We have a large population of older adults at our Dolger Senior Center. The Dolger Senior Center is probably one of the most popular senior centers in the peninsula. And we offer a deli program there and health service classes there and a lot of stretch and fitness programs. Since we operate at a high school, an abandoned high school, basically, the old Serramonte High School, we had the football field, which is empty, and so we used it as a garden, and we have planted the whole 40-yard line.
That's tailoring the program to your local community.
Exactly
for sure.
right. So we offer a program now for seniors to get out there and dig in the dirt for a while and have some fun. And certainly one of our biggest programs is our GED program. We have, for a small program as we are, we have over 200 GED graduates every year.
I think that's more than you, Larry, isn't it? And you have by far the largest program in San Mateo County.
We're about half that.
Patricia Cocconi, is that Al?
Yes, about it.
Patricia Cocconi from Sequoia Adult School wasn't able to be with us. She got ill at the very last minute, but she did provide some slides and a few notes for me to share some things that she sees special about Sequoia Adult School. Sequoia Adult School has been serving the community since 1921. The communities of Atherton, Belmont, East Palo Alto, Menlo Park, Portola Valley, Redwood City, San Carlos, and Woodside And they were the first to offer apprenticeship classes in San Mateo County in sheet metal. In addition to the regular programs which all of us offer, they are offering 60 different fee-based classes, which are community interest programs. Their adult school serves more than 8,000 students, and they offer classes at more than 30 locations throughout the community. The Sequoia Adult School currently works with more than 35 community partners to provide joint training and education to meet the needs of the local community and serve those who most in need. And Sequoia Adult School just recently went through its first Western Association of Schools and Colleges accreditation and received a 6-year accreditation, which is great, especially for going through the accreditation process for the first time.
Wow.
San Mateo, Larry, you have the largest program in San Mateo County. Tell us what's the great things that are going on there.
Well, we serve about 15,000 students from San Bruno to Foster City. Our main campus, the Smart Center, is located on Poplar Avenue. And one of our welcoming features is welcoming you from all over the world for the studying of the English language. And we have days and events to celebrate the various cultures represented. It's a great piece of the world, I think. It's kind of, I wonder if governance stayed out of the picture and let people meet other people, America might be a better place. I think ESL population is a very special group indeed. As you mentioned, we do have a high school diploma and GED program. We have a formal graduation ceremony for both groups every year. We have computer classes for adults of all ages. And I mentioned earlier the new digital camera suite is extremely popular. We also have some other classes for adults and that are vocational related, and we have a very popular class in San Bruno in upholstery.
Upholstery. They've been with adult schools for a long time.
And a very serious, very comprehensive adult education program, including physical fitness and the arts. And along with Sequoia District and Patricia, we sponsor a community band.
That's wonderful.
So we would welcome people to come by and see us on Poplar Avenue.
Thank you, Larry, very much. And now I get an opportunity to switch hats a little bit as the administrator of the South San Francisco Adult Education Program. Talk a little bit about what we have to offer in South San Francisco. So if we could look at those slides. In addition to so many of the classes that my colleagues have talked about, I think a couple of things that we're most proud of in South San Francisco, and by the way, we're celebrating our 75th anniversary, 75 years we've been serving the community. One of our programs that we're most proud of is our electronics telecommunications program. It's a 24 weeks, 5 days a week, 6-hour-a-day program, and at the end of that program, students are very much versed in basic electronics, and our job placement rate is close to 80% with that program. Another program that is a fee-based community program and very popular is our motorcycle safety program, where students have time in the classroom and time on the riding range where they learn the safety rules. In fact, we did a little show on them last month. And if Arnold Schwarzenegger had taken our class, he would have been in less trouble the last time he got into his little incident. Our older adults in our drawing and painting class, you see an example here. They do excellent work, enter many contests and celebrations throughout San Mateo County and do quite well. This is our electronics program I was talking about. So we're very proud of the work that our teachers and staff do at South San Francisco Adult Schools. I said we serve about 7,000 students during the course of the year. And if you want to get in touch with us, you can do that as you see on the screen there. And I'm sure that we can meet your needs too. So that's South San Francisco.
Sounds good.
Al, how long has Jefferson been around? Do you know?
Probably about 40 years or so. Mm-hmm.
And how about San Mateo, Larry?
1914.
1914. So you're the
earliest in
San Mateo County. Mm-hmm. And there's no truth to that you weren't teaching at that time.
No, not at that time.
At that time. What direction do you think adult education is going to be going in California for the next 150 years?
Well, I think as long as we remain flexible and viable and willing to meet the needs of our constituents, I think that is a bright future for adult education. I hope more people become aware of it. We could use substantially more funding. As you know, our funding is dramatically less than either the high schools or the community colleges receive. So I think as far as taxpayers are concerned, they get a good bang for the buck with adult education.
Al, any final thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think there's a big need in the future, not just ESL, but reculturalization for the number of new immigrants coming to this area. They need to know how to access different, so I think courses in how to access healthcare, housing, job market, other kinds of things, and parenting skills is going to be a big one in the future, plus the fact that the baby boomers are about to retire, including me, and that they're going to be looking for activities that perhaps adult ed could offer them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you both for coming on. It's been a glorious 150 years. I know we've all had a great run in our experience in adult education. It really does serve the needs of our community, and it has a very important niche in public education in California. And I think the legislature is finally seeing the truth in that. So I think we're going to be in good shape.
Proud to be part of it.
Nothing is more fundamental to success in school and in life than the ability to read. Young students at Sunshine Garden School in South San Francisco have a chance to increase their reading library free. Find out how when we come back.
January, it's so nice. Walk swimming on sliding ice.
I'm Mark Simon.
I'm Bob Marks.
It's our favorite spectator sport.
The day of reckoning is fast approaching.
We're just going to shoot the bull.
Join Mark Simon and Bob Marks each week on The Game as they cover the Bay Area's top stories, bringing you in-depth analysis on politics, business, and sports. Don't sit on the sidelines. Get into the game. Sundays at 7:30 a.m. on WB20, Bay Area Cable Channel 13.
If you live on the peninsula, there's only one place to get the latest news on business, sports, politics, education, and your community. Peninsula TV, Channel 26, the Peninsula and South Bay's Emmy Award-winning programming resource. For more information or for a programming schedule, go to PenTV.tv or call us at 650-637-1936. Peninsula TV, your community programming channel.
Real estate with Bobby Decker is for anyone who owns a home or aspires to do so. Everything that is important to or an interesting facet of home ownership will be covered by our program. Please join us. You won't want to miss Real Estate with me, your host, Bobby Decker.
I visited Sunshine Garden School in South San Francisco last month for the first of their 3 Reading is Fundamental reading celebration days. Let's take a look at the video provided by the South San Francisco High School broadcasting class. I'm here with Luella Angelis, the Library Media Center Coordinator at Sunshine Garden School. It's a big day at Sunshine Gardens. It's Reading is Fundamental Day, and Luella, I can't help but notice you're wearing a pig nose.
Yes, because it's in line with our theme today. Our book is If You Give a Pig a Party, and that's why we're all wearing pig's noses. That way when they grow up, they say, I remember wearing a pig's nose and picking a book, so they could pig out on books.
Excellent. Now, this is the first of 3 days at Sunshine Garden School where students get to select free books, any book of their choice.
Yes, any book of their choice, free selection. That's one of the main deals here. Yeah.
And what's the point of Reading is Fundamental? What do you think the students get out of it?
Just have the love for reading. Just to read, yeah.
And I know the South San Francisco Library is here today, and hopefully the students will continue to use the library as a resource.
Yes. That way they could connect it. If you want books, get them at the library.
And reading is fundamental, and test scores are important, and reading will reflect that. Luella, how many students are participating today?
There's like 489 students.
So all grades?
All grades. With the help of our PTA, they provided the rest of the money so that each child would have a book for this program.
Excellent. Everybody's having a good time. Luella, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
And the pig nose is very attractive.
Oh.
Hi, I'm with Judy Muma, who is the Library Services Coordinator for San Mateo County Office of Education, and she's the one responsible for bringing Reading is Fundamental to Sunshine Garden School today. Judy, what is Reading is Fundamental, or as everybody calls it, RIF?
It's a federally funded reading program that promotes reading and involvement of parents and volunteers and basically the overall community.
And how is the program funded?
It's 75% of it is federally funded, and 25% of it is the responsibility of the school. Oftentimes PTA will handle that, also school districts as well. So funding is different at every site.
And about how many students in San Mateo County are provided this opportunity through the RIF program?
Pretty close to 6,000 students a year have the opportunity to self-select 3 different books.
That's very impressive. I know here at Sunshine Gardens, the 25% of funds towards the books were raised by the PTA, and so every student here at Sunshine Gardens will receive 3 books during the course of the year. And what makes RIF work? How does it work?
I think one of the big pieces is to motivate the students to build up the distribution, to make it an event, to make it exciting. Once again, to have parents involved is very important. And so it kind of extends the reading experience, and it makes it an exciting opportunity for the kids to pick what they want to read, not maybe what a teacher assigns or what someone else picks. So
this must be a fun thing for you to do.
It is. It's a great opportunity. Luella's done a wonderful job. She always does at her distributions, gets many community members involved, and so they do a great job here, yes.
Well, thank you for sharing a couple of minutes with us. I know you got to get back into the Project Read bus. I know Project Read from South San Francisco Library is here to assist.
Well, yeah.
And you've got more students coming, and this is going to be going on all day long, so you better get back in the bus and help them out. Thank you, Judy.
All right.
I'm here with John Thompson, principal of Sunshine Gardens School, on a big day. Reading is fundamental day at Sunshine Gardens. John, what is the importance of the Reading is Fundamental program to the students of Sunshine Gardens?
Well, reading literacy is essential to basically all learning that goes on, and as a result, we're constantly looking for ways to promote reading literacy, to build reading comprehension, and perhaps even more importantly, to build a love of reading for the children. RIF allows every student in our school to get free books, and they get to choose the book, any book they want, so they're able to select a title that is of interest to them, and hopefully, which will promote their love of reading and allow them to do things such as want to go to the library, want to read more. We think it's a key part of promoting literacy at our school and developing reading comprehension.
And lead to success in school and test scores, which are important too. You can't help but notice the kids are having a blast out there, and they're all wearing pig noses.
Yes.
What's with the pig noses?
Well, we decided to start off there are 3 distribution dates for RIF, and this is the first one. And we decided to start it off by having a celebration, a RIF celebration, and we chose a book, If You Give a Pig a Party, to kick off the first RIF distribution. I read this book to the whole school over our PA system yesterday, and as a result, all of the classes have embraced the If You Give a Pig a Party theme and are wearing pig noses, party hats to kind of go along with the RIF celebration.
I can't wait to find out what the theme of the next RIF Day might be. John Thompson, principal at Sunshine Garden School. Tonight we celebrated 150 years of adult education in California. I want to thank my guest, Al Seiner, the director of Jefferson Adult School, Larry Teixeira, the director of San Mateo Adult School, for being on, and I want to thank the children and staff of Sunshine Gardens for their RIF Day. I'm Bruce Grantham for Our Children, Our Future. Thank you for watching. See you next time.